Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Healing Me First podcast, stories of breakthroughs, transformation, and healing. Today, our guest is the Happy Vegan Coach, and we are talking all about the 10 steps to perfect health. Welcome, Happy Vegan Coach.
Thank you, Chef Beee, and thank you for the opportunity of having me here, sharing the most valuable, credible information with our audience, with our valuable audience.
Wonderful.
And I just want to congratulate you. You're doing such a good service to our community. You are such a graceful, positive person that you and your husband, I met him, and I really thank both of you for being who you are.
Oh, merci. We have the little, well, I'm not a native French speaker. Je parle un peu français. I only speak a little bit, but I know that you're fluent.
Yes, je suis fluent en français. Tu sais, je viens d'Haïti. I'm from Haiti, and our first language is really French, even though 80% of the people don't speak French.
Really?
It's like, yeah, it's like an illusion they created because we were under the French domination. And when I was a kid in Haiti, it's the people with money and in a certain social class, they would speak French to differentiate themselves from the poor people, because the poor people couldn't go to school. Under the dictator regime, you wanted to keep the country ignorant. So most people didn't go to school to learn anything. So until these days, like 20% of Haitian people speak French, but the French language is really the official language.
Wow. So really gateway, we talk about in different spaces, barriers of entry, gateways. And as an educator, one of the gateways in education is mathematics. And really in certain countries, particularly those that have been colonized, the gateway is language and access to, opportunities when you have the dominant language. So thank you for sharing that. I actually have a very good friend who's Haitian, and she speaks a little, you can understand. She comprend en français. She understands French. But I do remember we were in college and she was actually taking French classes with me, even though, her language is of French, right? The space is
Right.
French. So very interesting. So let's jump into it. I'm wondering, you're beautiful, by the way. You're
Thank you.
absolutely gorgeous. Your skin is glowing. We see
Thank
that you
you.
take really good care of yourself and that you are really focused. That's your work around healing first and really showing people simple ways that they can really access plant-based foods, growing their own food, and just really focusing on their own internal work of being the best they can be as it relates to food and many other things. I'm wondering, what's your journey? We're both from Caribbean countries. That's not always the topic of conversation in those places. Even though people think that, they think, oh, you're in the Caribbean, oh, fruits, vegetables. But quite honestly, so many of these places, people are very unhealthy, right? They're very unhealthy. And the things that are available to them locally, they're not always taking full advantage of the foods that are available locally. So I don't know if you resonate with that from Haiti.
I do actually.
Right?
Like, people will call me an island girl, and I said, but I don't know how to swim. I'm an island girl. We don't know how to swim. I
Exactly.
never lived near water, and even if I did, my mother would never let us. The way the culture is, she will never let us. The only reason I love fruits and vegetables, it's in my blood. It's because when we were little, my father died when I was 2, and my mother ended up with 7 kids, and she had to feed everyone. So we grew up on mangoes, avocados, oranges, and but I never see lettuce. I rarely see lettuce. The only lettuce I used to see when I was in Haiti was iceberg. And you know, the iceberg is the lowest in all letters. So we have 32 different lettuces. But iceberg, that doesn't mean it's not good. You shouldn't eat it because it still has fibers and some minerals and enzyme in it. However, Haiti, you know, has changed. What do you call it? The gentrification? Everything has changed in Haiti, where the higher forces, stronger forces, outside forces came in and changed our own culture. And they kill a chicken, they kill a pig, they kill the agriculture, the sugarcane, and everything. And now they introduce. There was a time when I used to go in Haiti. I'm seeing the people selling turkey wings on the side of the street, and I was looking for lettuce everywhere. I couldn't find it. And Haiti is an extremely fertile soil. The soil is extremely fertile. There's no reason, but it was outside forces. We have factories in Haiti, people working for like 50 cents an hour. And this is crazy what's going on there. I don't even call it a country anymore. I call it a fragment of the country because it's very fragmented because there is no structure, there's nothing. So when I grew up, I was already used to fruits and vegetables. So when I came to the U.S., I came across, when White Castle, it was a burger company, chain, I don't know, I think they're still around. I used to eat 10 of them because they used to be like 35 cents each burger. And they're very tasty and very nice. You could eat them like that very quickly. And I spent a period of 15 years in junk food only until I came across a book called Fit for Life. And I read that book and that opened my eyes. I said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, really? And then fruits and vegetables, and that's the only way you can really get perfect health. I said, well, I would like to have that because you don't need money to have that. The money I'm spending on all this junk food, I could spend them on fruit and vegetables. And I started that journey, and I started with like no point of return and with passion. And I used to wear makeup, a lot of makeup, fashion fairs, and used to be my favorite. And I wouldn't go in the corner without putting cream on my face and fountain and powder. And after I started having this diet, because I used to have spots on my face and blackheads. And when I started this journey, my skin started cleaning up. And I said, what? This thing work. And this is why I always tell people, when you start small changes will lead to big changes. And big changes will lead down to big benefits, health benefits in every way. But it wasn't my skin only that was changing. It was my inside, my liver, my kidneys, my pancreas, everything was getting cleaned. And since that day, I never wear cream on my face again, ever, for more than 30 years. The only thing I use, the last thing I used on my face was shea butter that I get from your place.
I use the same thing, girl.
I bought some shea butter, which I think it's one of the best shea butter that I put on my skin. The last one I bought was from a guy from Senegal in Bucket, and an African place. And between him and yours is better because there are so many varieties in your place. And I feel like the product you're selling is a product of good conscience. You're not just selling a product. You go there and you see the product and you brought it back and to sell it to your people. So since then, I developed a passion for health that is so great that I wanted. And also when I saw King Hussein of Jordan in the 1980s, he died of lymphatic cancer. And I said to myself, but I read somewhere I was reading like crazy. I said, I read that lymphatic cancer, your lymphatic system is called garbage residue.
Yes.
This is where all the garbage sits on your body. So if you don't flush out your body on a regular basis, it's going to build up and it's going to change into something else. And I said, my God, he died because he took chemotherapy, and the chemo is what really killed him. Not because cancer is nothing but a message that the body is sending to you, telling you there is a problem. You are toxic.
Yeah.
You are extremely toxic. So what do you do when you are toxic? You detox. And that's what led me to, the 10 steps to perfect health. And if somebody wants to be healthy, the first thing to do is to detox. And you can't have a tune-up or change the oil on your car until you take out the old oil. So, but in another podcast, I'll tell you more about my youth, my life story, being, from a very poor girl in Haiti. I raised myself from the age of, I don't know, maybe after my father died. My mother, 3, 4, 5 years old, and I went, to an orphanage, and from then I was on my own until this day. And from being a beauty queen in Haiti, the Queen of Haiti, my mother didn't even know. I was on major newspapers. And being a soccer player there, I created the soccer team in Haiti, nobody knows. And came to the US, did all kind of job, and became the best chauffeur for the billionaires in New York. And from then, that's where I learned, because I was sitting a lot, listening to CDs. There used to be a time, cassettes, and educate myself nonstop until I became a farmer. I went to California. I lived in California for 8 years. I was doing internship on every farm. And after that, I went to Israel. I had an opportunity there. I had a very good job. I couldn't miss on it. Even that's not the place I want to be. But I went anyway, and 4 years there. And I came to the US 3 times a year for vacation and back, and I became a really good farmer. Every time I have 2 days off, I spend it on the farm learning how to sprout. And because this is after I found out living food is the best food you can put in your body. Living food. There's living food, there's raw food, there's vegan food, and there is vegetarian, and there's conventional food. So so that's where my passion has been for the more than 30 years, food and health.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. The stories, I love it. I love the fact that you have been an explorer all these years and really going after and really seeking knowledge, and through experiences and some of the conversations that we've had. We were doing a lot of avid reading. You said to me, I read everything. You have to read everything so that you can be knowledgeable on what's going on. And you're so absolutely right. So I really wanted to jump into these 10 steps to perfect health. You mentioned the first one. You said detoxification.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about that, and then we'll get into the others.
Okay. I can't remember everything. I wrote it down.
That's fine.
What I said is, before putting health food in your body, you need to clean out the excesses. Our body is like a car. When you change your oil, you must flush out the dirty oil and replace it with clean oil. We can do supervised fast, water fasting at a clinic. There's one in True North Health Center in California. And it's $169 a day. They have 10 medical doctors there. It's the best one I've known for the past 30 years. And they are what doctors should be. They are medical doctors, but they don't use drugs or anything else, or pills to help the people clean out their body. if you cannot afford that, you can do a juice fast. And when I mean by juice fast, you can use watermelon with the skin and the seeds, and you juice it. If you don't have a juicer, you can blend it and strain it, or you can drink it with the seeds, because the seeds have nutrients in them that can really help you, especially men who have erectile dysfunction, erectile dysfunction. And also, if you cannot do that, you cannot do the juices, because when you have juices, you still have protein. You're still getting protein, vitamins, minerals, and fiber, some fiber. And if you cannot do that, you can just eat raw vegetables for a while. The detox is going to take longer, but it's going to happen. And you can eat these raw vegetables and fruits, and but your healing, whatever you're going through, is going to be slower, but it's the body recognized, because the body is highly intelligent. It knows. Whenever, this is why you have pimples on your skin, this is when the liver is dirty. It can't do the work anymore. It sends message to the skin to take over. So now the skin is saying, okay, I'll take over. So now the skin is creating opening for the excess to come out. Because you don't need to do a lot. The body knows. We just have to get out of the body's way and let the body do its work, because we live in a society that did not teach us any organs of the body. Like, I never remember anyone telling me about the liver, the kidney, what they do, and things like that. So at this day of age, we need to inquire, we need to be curious and passionate. That's the only way we're going to get health. We have to have passion for it. And with that passion, that will create curiosity and love for healthy foods.
Ashe, ashe. So we talked about detoxification. That's the first. What's the next?
And the step two is to, you can't detox until you organize your kitchen. And like, when I mean to organize your kitchen, it's important to get the essential, because if you're a mechanic, you're going to fix a car. You need the right tools to open the whatever to fix the car, and you need a juicer. And one of the best juicer is the Samsung juicer. It's affordable. It's $229, but it's the lower RPM. It does not create oxidation. There are no metals. There are no blades. It's just the auger is in ceramic, and it's nice. If you don't want to get that, you can also get an Omega, which is the same system. Yeah. The Omega, I think the NC800, you can get that, and you can get a vacuum blender. A Vitamix blender is no longer in style. It's the vacuum blenders, because they don't create oxidation. When you have a Vitamix, it will blend everything very finely, but it's creating a lot of oxidation. You could either put some ice when you're blending to slow down the heating process. But there's a vacuum blender there's a blender that's called vacuum blender. It's from a company called BioChef, and you can get it, and it's good. It takes away the oxygen from the blender for 45 seconds, and then you can blend after. It's safe to blend. There's a guy named John Kohler on YouTube. He did the demo from discountjuicers.com. He did the demonstration with all the vacuum blender and another blender, and the juice is like vibrant, color, comparing to the other one where it clearly shows oxidation in the other juice. And you need jars. You need mason jars, a natural food processor, because if you're going to do fermentation, you need your food processor to do it. And BPA-free plastic containers. Like I have here, my jar this is the messengers. They have the wide mouth and you have the small mouth. The wide mouth I have over there, I'll show it to you. I use my sprouts in it. You can use it for your water, you can use it for your juice, you can use it for your soup, you can use it for a salad. Put the dressing on the bottom, put the salad on the top. When you're ready to have your salad, you just shake your dressing and you eat your salad. Remember, wherever there is a will, there is a way. So now the jars, they come with this, they come with a different lid, with metal lids, but you're gonna get your own lids. They sell them on Amazon, or you can get them at Walmart. You need a salad spinner, because when you wash your lettuce, you need to dry them. And there's a technique. So today was an introduction of, to the 10-step to perfect health. The next show, I'll show you how to wash your vegetable or to organize the kitchen. It will be like more of a visual. Today is just a theory. And you need stainless steel cookware and no Teflon in your kitchen, because the Teflon is toxic. It's just a plastic they put on top, hard plastic, so your food would not stick, but it's extremely dangerous to your health. And that's it. So I don't know if you have anything to say, Chef Beee, about step 2. I'm gonna go to step 3. Is that okay?
I thought that was, I thought those were some additional steps, so that's fine. So detox was number 1. We also said organizing your kitchen was number 2.
Organize your kitchen.
Yes, organizing the kitchen is number 2. Yes, I'm ready.
Well, I don't have to give detail if you don't want to. But
we can do a little, like, this is perfect. Little detail is perfect. So we can go to number 3. This is good.
Number 3 is to find a good supply chain where you can buy your food organic, where they don't have GMO. Even if you cannot afford organic, but try to buy food that doesn't have that are not being genetically modified. And step 4 is check your gut health. Your gut health is everything in your life. Yeah. Because 80% of bacteria is in your gut, and you need to make sure your gut is, we have 100 trillions of bacteria in our body, more than body cells. And 80% of them are in our gut. So if that gut is loaded with animal food and processed food, it's going to build up bad bacteria. We need to eat food that is building good bacteria. Stay away from alcohol also, because alcohol will destroy the friendly bacteria. Step 5 is get good sleep. It's important that you sleep good, because when you're sleeping, the body is very busy at fixing everything inside. You're sleeping, but the body is working hard. It's like a little factory. And it's important that you sleep in an environment that is free of electronic and noise, and also light. Your room must be really dark, because if the eye detects light, it's going to send it to the brain, telling the brain it's daytime. So the body will never be in the stage 4 ants, on the 3rd stage of sleep, which is the delta sleep. That's the sleep that the body fixes everything. So it's always on stage 1 and floating stage 1, stage 2. So it's important to keep your room healthy. Step 6 is clean out your bathroom. A lot of people have a lot of perfume, antiperspirant. You need to perspire. Hairspray, soap bars are not good. It's better to use liquid soap, and use a towel once, and all this stuff. Your bathroom must be clean, must be healthy also. Every room in the house must be healthy. Step 7, change your clothing often. Like if you wear something, don't wear it again, because your body perspire in it. Don't use any lipstick with, chemical, all that. No bras with wires, no tight socks, no moisturizer. Moisturizer is a big no-no. Don't wear any legging and all these tight clothes. Step 8 is electronics. Don't wear an Apple Watch. Don't put your cell phone on your body. Don't put the computer on your lap. Okay? Unplug the microwave in your kitchen. Step 9 is eating habits. Mono meal is better than a bunch of meal together. Mono meal means one meal at a time. Every hour you can have a fruit, a different type. Your body does better with one single food. You can make eating, you can make eating healthy by introducing one food at a time. Step 10 is exercise. It's extremely important to exercise because the way I was at the beginning, I was talking about lymphatic system. You need to keep the lymphatic system going into floating around, moving around. You don't want to stay stagnant all day sitting in one chair. And also, it's important to be happy, to smile all the time. That's why I call myself the happy vegan coach, because I smile with myself. Because when you smile, every cell in your body smiles. And a good attitude is important at every level. It's gonna help humanity, and it's gonna help you. And whenever you smile, people see you smile, they smile back. And you can change the world one person at a time with just a smile.
Just
And
I love it.
so that's step 10.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I wanted you to talk a little bit more about. I think it was step 4. What was step 4?
Step 4,
What did we have for step?
check your gut health.
So I wanted to ask you about step 4 because, when you said check your gut health, how does one check their gut health? So someone listening to this podcast, they're like, wait a minute, I have bumps on my face. I know that I eat a lot of meat. What are some signs that their gut needs some cleansing, they need some tuning up?
Well, as you know, I'm not a doctor. I cannot, diagnose or anything, but I know one thing. There's something called bad breath. Like if we have wake up in the morning, and every time there's a presence of bad smell, that means something is rotten somewhere. Something is not good. And whenever you have bad perspiration, the body's toxic. When you have a tongue that is so white because the body is trying to detox. So that's a good way to know that your gut is good. And also when your fecal matter smell, and if you have constipation, you definitely have a bad gut. Your gut, because something is backed up in your system. So if your colon is backed up, your stomach is going to be backed up also. Your gut is right here. And if everything is backed up there, it's going to back up here. It's going to build up a bunch of bad bacteria. If you're a meat eater, you definitely don't have a good gut. If you're any animal eater, you don't have a good gut. If you're eating processed food, you don't have a good gut. So these are the things we have to know about the gut. So if you want to get the gut into working again, you have to create friendly bacteria. Eat fermented food, and not all fermented food are made equal. You just don't go to a store and buy fermented cabbage because it's fermented cabbage. You have to look if it's in a plastic, because the plastic is going to leach BPA into your fermentation. Get them in glass jar. And also, I have a lady that lives in Woodstock. She grew up in a fermentation farm. She teaches on Zoom fermentation. You can create, all you do is you shred cabbage and you put some sea vegetable in it. And there are jars that they sell at Amazon. There's one called Kilner, Kilner. You get the jar, the perfect jar that will give you the perfect fermentation. Not all fermentation jars are good. So it releases, it prevents oxygen from going into the fermentation by building bacteria. So you make sure you do it the right way. And people can always contact me, and I can give them more information on that. But the thing is, it's important to eat your fermented cabbage.
And use that just
And
about
raw
every day.
food.
And raw
And
food.
raw food
Yes. Every day, right?
all day.
All day, every
You
day.
know what? You know Dr. Furman, right?
Yes.
Dr. Joe Furman. One thing he said, I always remember. He said, everything you eat that is cooked, you eat it with something raw, because the cooked food is not able, doesn't have enough enzyme. So your body is stealing your enzyme that you have as a reserve to break down that food. It's like the food came in with nothing.
Yeah.
So the body is saying, I need help here to break down that food. That's because that food needs to be processed. So I'm going to take the reserve. So now your body has to work hard to make back the reserve. So that's why when that food is going, you eat it with some romaine lettuce, red leaf lettuce. And what I did, the gift I have in me is every country I go, I always find where the good produce are. And they are always easy to find. You just have to look. You just have to have an interest. Like in Georgia, oh my God, I found everything I need.
Yeah.
Everything. I know every store, and I've been here for 2 years. I left Israel and I came right here for the first time.
How did you find out about Atlanta? I mean, not that Atlanta is not one of those places, but it's interesting. Like, growing up from Guyana, people would come from Guyana to New York, or they would go to like Canada. But I'm finding there are a lot of Caribbean people who are leaving their homes and coming straight to Atlanta. I'm like, how did you know to come to Atlanta? So I'm wondering, from Israel, because you were in California prior to that.
Right.
Why
We
Atlanta?
wanted to buy a house in California, but even if you have cash money in your hand, houses in California were so expensive, and especially where we wanted to live in Southern California, like Laguna Niguel, Laguna Beach, that area. You couldn't find, a realtor could not find a house. I said, this is ridiculous. On top of that, California is not sustainable. It's not a place that they're getting the water from Colorado. They do not depend on themselves. It's beautiful, it's like paradise, but it's not sustainable. And there's fire all the time, there's earthquake and everything. So my husband wanted to be there, but I didn't want really to be there. I wanted to be in Florida because I'm a tropical girl, and we are tropical being actually. And the realtor was messing up to find me. And then there was a huge hurricane that happened. When I see people living with, the bag in the back and they're running for their life, I said, oh, I don't want to go there. Then my cousin live here. She said, why don't you come to Georgia? And the houses are big, they're cheap, and there's trees. And I said, that's not a bad idea. So that's how I end up here. So I took a few trips. Sometimes I just came for one day in the morning and I took a plane back the night. So that's what happened, because I had to, from Israel, they gave me like 12 days vacation. So I have to go see my husband in California, come here, look for a house, and go see my kids in New York. So the time was very short. So it didn't take me. So I had to, so that's what I did. I saved money in the job, come here, buy a house. And when I got here, my cousin is not into health. So I had to find with Google, you find everything you want. And I went to the GCAB and I went to Whole Food and Sprout, and that's it. And even these days, Kroger's and the other one, Publix, they have everything. They have an organic section.
Yeah.
They have all kind of melons, mangoes, everything, all the Caribbean food. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. If you want to be healthy, because the end result is you need to be healthy. In my house, I have all kind of fruits you could ever imagine. Right now, I have 50 mangoes.
Woo.
I
50.
went to the Decaf the other day. They had 9 organic big mangoes for $6
$6.
in the
That's right.
box. So I took like 7 boxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I
So
will say, I love what you're talking about because really, I think healing first and really thinking about being healthy is accessible to everybody. Kroger, Publix, you also show people how they can regrow vegetables, regrow lettuce by just buying a little piece and then just putting it in water. So, I think what you're saying is absolutely right on time. It's accessible if you want it. That's the thing. If you want to seek it out, it's there, it's available to you if you want it. And so, for those of you who are listening, none of the things that we are talking about is beyond you. It is absolutely available to you. It's a personal journey. And we know that for some of us, it's a challenge giving up things that we really enjoy. And, there's so many food memories that people connect with. But in this day and age, yes, it's so important to seek health, to 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 do what you can do to make a start somewhere towards perfect health, because you can do it. And these things are very simple. They're not, it's just an interrogation of your environment and yourself. That's all I'm hearing you say. We have to look within ourselves to make these things come alive and to make these changes. I see it's raining outside on your patio. I know your vegetables and plants love
oh
that.
yeah, you see what happened to my you see what's happening to my lettuce? They all, you see these lettuce?
Yes, I
I
see
have
it.
so many of them. They swimming. There's so much rain last night.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have probably 300 lettuce outside, trees outside. What happened when the lettuce is, I plant them, when I took the leaves off, and the lettuce is so intelligent, it realizes that it's gonna die. There's no more life force. It makes seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So that I got so many seeds outside in the porch there of lettuce, and and all these seeds, they create new lettuce. So even in your own kitchen, in your own porch, you can grow food.
That's right.
So I create new seeds from my plants. I learn how to plant them, and they create seeds, and I use these seeds to replant again.
Beautiful.
And by the way, you can buy a head of lettuce at Kroger's and plant it. But you take the leaves and you use the little heart of the lettuce, you will plant it, and
Yeah.
it's gonna grow.
So you
Even
put
if it does, it will never die. It will make more seeds.
Wow. So you put it in water? Do you cut
You
that?
can put it in water first. You can put it in water. I can give you a demo now if you want.
Yeah, show us. Show us very quickly. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
How beautiful.
As you can see, that's what I was talking about. Cabinet, like my cabinets, they are all organized with my jar. You have to have a well organized cabinet, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yes.
So what was I going to show you again? The lettuce.
Yeah, just how you sprout
Okay.
or basically keep the lettuce alive by.
So this is one of the survival food um, we can have. You see, there are 3 little stand here.
Yeah.
I soaked this yesterday, Chef Beee.
Wow,
Just
they're
yesterday.
already sprouting that fast?
Yesterday, this morning, I turned them upside down. And
Amazing.
as you see?
Yes, those are muck beans. I love those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And these are the food we need to have in survival time, you know, if we want to survive, because we can use these seeds and keep them in our freezer for
Yes.
2 years and
Hmm.
it will sprout when you're
Amazing.
ready to use it.
Wow.
And even if it's not in your freezer, it can last for a long time. And let me show you. Like next time we do a show, we can always do it on, show you the fridge. Our fridge should be organized so you can stay healthy. Because like you see right now, I went to my fridge and I pick up my lettuce.
Hmm.
It's already washed and it's in, I put them in bed. They like to go to bed. I put it in
I
bed
love that.
and then I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna wake them up.
So for those of you who are listening, the Happy Vegan Coach has this beautiful large plastic container that she has in her refrigerator. And if you can imagine, the plastic container is large and she has red leaf, she has collard greens, she has romaine lettuce. They're all in this container. And there's also some paper towels just to keep them moist.
And by the way, these containers, they are 2.5 gallon size. And you can find them at Kroger's and Walmart. They are BPA free.
Nice.
And you see this has been on my fridge. I've been playing around with it for like 3 weeks. You see,
Wow.
it stays
So fresh,
vibrant.
so vibrant. Yes.
Okay. So what I can do, since I'm going to be making lettuce juice, and the reason why I'm going to make lettuce juice, I like to make lettuce juice, is because, oh, before I do that, this is a green leaf romaine, and this is a red romaine.
Yes. Yes.
Which one is more nutritious? The
Red.
red one.
Yes.
This used to be big. This one used to be big and green. I took the leaves out because I don't like to take the leaves out of my lettuce. So uh, the reason why this is more nutritious, this is as the green and the red.
Yes.
But the only place you can find this is at Sprout. You know, Sprout Farmers
Yep.
Market. They are the only one who have the red one.
Wow. You
So
don't see those at the Cap Farmers Market?
no, they have the Decab Farmers Market. They have the curly one. They have the green leaf red lettuce. But this is the romaine. They don't have the red romaine like that.
Nice. Okay. So
And
those
they
are the
also have the hydroponic red one in that
yeah,
little container. But the hydroponic is not a good way to eat. You're not getting enough nutrients in your in your vegetable. In
nice.
all the romaine, in all the lettuce, these two, they are the most nutritious. And after these two, you get the green leaf. You get the green leaf, you have the red leaf, you have the Boston, the butter, and all of this kind. So, so I'm gonna take everything out. Let me turn on the lights.
So what Happy Vegan Coach is doing now, she's actually pulling all the leaves off of the lettuce. And so if you can imagine a beautiful head of red leaf lettuce, it's elongated. It has a dark color, like a dark purplish color towards the tip of the leaf. And then as you get to the base, it's green. So she's just pulling all the leaves off. And then you basically have like a root, right? You have this beautiful root that's left. And so what are we going to do with that root?
I am going to put it in this jar. See,
Wonderful.
put it in the jar
Yep.
with some water.
So we put it in a glass
Yep,
jar,
water
a little
again.
bit of spring water. And I just want to also say, for those of you who are listening, we do have some of the leaves that are still left over. So they're just some baby leaves that are left over. And then we just put it inside of the glass jar, maybe about 3/4 full. And then you,
And after 2 days, it's gonna create new roots, and then you put it under. What's important? You don't need a green thumb or anything. What's important? The soil must be rich.
mm-hmm.
Okay, and we have to start living in harmony with nature, because when I have a bucket of worm outside, there's probably a million worms in it, big worms.
Mm-hmm.
They poop after I finish with my watermelon pulp. I give it to them, they eat, they poop, and that poop is the most nutritious food you could ever give to a plant.
Yes.
So when I have friends who come in and I show them the worm, they go, yucky, yucky, oh my God. Oh my God. I used to be one of these people too, until, I mean, if you tell Haitian people from my country, if you say the word snake, they start jumping. They don't even want to hear about that word. And I was one of them. So I told my girlfriend the other day, I saw a snake. She said, oh my God, I will never come to your house. Never. You know, I said, listen, I used to be very afraid of snakes, but I have to learn to know them. So I found out that the snake that I saw behind my house, they are black snakes. They eat the bad snakes.
Yeah.
They are protecting me
And
actually.
your friends. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
You know. So these
Spiders too.
little worms, they nourishing my vegetable. Why do you think all my lettuce come out very well? I never have a problem with anything that I plant because of the poop from the then. So from the worms. So now this is gonna, can you believe, Chef Beee? I'm gonna show you something else that's
Show
very
me. Show me.
interesting.
All right. So she headed over to her
In my
fridge.
fridge, I have everything washed. I have my celery, my spinach, everything is washed. So when I wake up in the morning, I come here, it takes me 3 minutes to make a juice.
Yes.
So this, you know, I was involved in the fair, in the Mystic Fair, and so I was so busy over the weekend. I was supposed to plant this. What do you think this is? This vegetable. This is.
Is that some cilantro?
No, I mean, it's hard for you to see, I know. It's look like cilantro, but it's watercress.
Watercress. I was gonna say watercress next. Yes.
Yeah. When I was in Israel, you know, you see this, I had like the whole kitchen filled up with watercress farming, and I didn't know what to do with them. You see this little hair here?
I see it. Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it right
I can
there,
see it.
that little
Yeah.
hair,
Yeah.
okay? If you put the watercress in water, after 2 days, it's going to make new hair, new roots is going to come out.
Yeah.
And this is a 99 cents watercress.
Yeah.
You can transform that 99 cents watercress into a huge farm.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? And it's so easy that to do these things. So this is where my passion is, into things like this, into sprouting things like this mung bean. What I do with it, I put it with mango. All the 60 something mango that I got, I put them in the blender with a little water, and I got myself such a wonderful smoothie, loaded with protein,
Yes.
fiber,
Yes.
enzyme. This is alive.
Yes.
There's nothing higher than a food that is living.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
Beautiful. Wonderful. Wow. I love you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom today.
yeah,
I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate the work that you're doing. You know, I think it's super important that we in the community, you know, are respective of various places, because you come with your knowledge of your space and where you're from to a new place. And I think it's important that, our knowledges come together to share, because I think, oftentimes in America, people don't have all the full perspective. They don't see how difficult things can be in other places. And so we take things for granted. So I love how you're demonstrating that this little bit of plant that you have that you spend $1 for, you can it's multiplicity. You can multiply it and you can create something new, bigger, and better that's sustainable to feed yourself and to feed your family. So I think we have to think that way. And I know for many people, we've just been out of training in terms of thinking sustainably. And now we're being forced to think that way. So I absolutely appreciate your steps to perfect health and you giving us that demonstration. How can people connect with you, Happy Vegan Coach?
I the best way to connect with me is my website, happyvegancoach.com. And also I have my YouTube, Happy Vegan Coach. And also I have my Facebook page, Yolande Smith. And my Instagram page is Happy Vegan Coach. And my phone number is 770-912-4236.
Wonderful. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much. And for those of you who are listening, you can always check out our podcast episodes on YouTube, and we're also on Anchor and Spotify. You can also see our offerings at Chef Beee, that's with 3 E's.com, and that stands for Be Empowered, Energized, and Engaged. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today to our podcast episode. Thank you so much, Yolande. We appreciate you so much for your knowledge and expertise and
Thank you.
sharing it with the world.
Thank you for inviting me. You're a great host, Chef Beee.
Merci. Thank you.
Yeah.